Exactly. So Bold was the one that I remembered. Now you gave me advice, and I went and go and bought it, and it was absolutely brilliant. And I heard a guy actually this week talking about the power of speed listening. So you can listen to these audio books at 2 speed, for example. So you can get through. I don't know what your views are on that, Clive, but sounds like you read quite quickly and quite fast as well. So I think very important for people to become a voracious reader, and then they can consume more content and get through a lot more of this material. And as you say, I mean, you can listen in the gym and, turn the speed up. I mean, you don't have to listen at one pace, do it 1.5, 2. I mean, you see Clive sort of talks fast and he's a hustler, he gets stuff done. And I mean, I think it's about having that speed of being able to get through books and do deals and get things done. Clive, then maybe just let's, okay, a tough question up on the screen here. And something that comes up in a lot of my coaching conversations, a lot of the things that I try and solve and help people with in their student journeys. But whether it's an idea for a new business or whether it's an idea that you've got to write about in a research context, for example. But and I'm Bold actually in the book, it talks about that, how to go from I have an idea to being $1 billion company. And I mean, I remember Michael Jordan at FMB always used to say we reward employees for implemented ideas. An idea on paper, I mean, that as you were saying earlier, I mean, that's great, but it's got to have some value at the end of the day. But how do people listening today take action once they get off this call to get better at converting ideas into outcomes?
I think, firstly, just to re-echo what you just mentioned there, Peter. I mean, ideas are worth a dime a dozen. We've all got them. We sit in the shower, come back with 150 ideas, or we wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning with 57 different ideas. They are irrelevant. They're absolutely irrelevant. What's relevant is execution. You've all heard that execution eats strategy for breakfast, or execution eats ideas for breakfast as well. So it's about picking the one thing. It's not about, don't worry if you're wrong. It's okay. Failure is fine. It's okay to fail. That's as long as you've got the mentality that it's okay to fail. Take your ideas, pick one idea. Now, there's a great book. It's called Eat Your Frog, or Eat the Frog. Also by a great leadership writer. But what he says in there about eating the frog. The problem that most of us have is that we all have to-do lists. So you need to have to-do lists with all these ideas and things you need to do. But typically what most of us do is you do the easy stuff and you leave all the hard stuff for the end of the day, and the hard stuff never gets done. So it just keeps them being put at the back of your to-do list over and over and over again. Now, one of the most important things about if you get a mentor is to be able to manage your time. Because one thing none of us are blessed with more than 24 hours a day. We've all got it. The only question is what you do with your 24 hours a day. That's your question. So eating the frog is to take your 2 or 3 worst tasks. They're the ones that are going to taste like a frog. You're going to hate the taste of these things. And the first thing you do every day is you eat your frog. If it's one frog, eat that frog and do the hardest task there is. And do it from A to Z and finish it. Before you start responding to emails or whatever other rubbish that you might be spending your time on. But most of us, it's like the Pareto principle. You spend 80% of your time on 20% of your outcome. So if you can eat the frog every morning, do the most important things, that's when you take that idea. And if you can just focus on one idea, there's one thing about entrepreneurs that I call them entrepreneurs that have all these ideas, but they actually don't have any execution. There's lots of ideas. Pick one idea, say, that's the idea I'm going to take, and then go and that's your frog, and go and eat that frog until you decide either it doesn't work or, wow, I've pivoted it slightly, but that absolutely works. And stick to that task until you decide one day that it's not working. Then pick your next idea. But that's the only way you're going to do it. If you keep on having ideas and throwing things against the wall, like throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what's going to stick, you're just going to be a one-entrepreneur. You're going to have idea after idea after idea. Even entrepreneurs, I see it every day, guys. They've got a company that they're selling me their company and solving that problem. I say, wow, this is great. And then they're doing this, and they're doing that, and they're doing this, and they're doing that. And all of a sudden, I'm switched off completely. They're not getting my money. Because I want you to solve one problem. Before you're a $2-3 million business, you're going to solve one problem. One problem for the market that's going to be 10 times better than everything else. You're not going to try and solve 20 problems. If you're trying to solve 20 problems, it means you're actually solving no problems. You've gone too hard, too quickly, and you're actually you're a generalist. You become nothing to no one. You're nothing to anyone. Focus, focus, focus. The most important advice I can give as a mentor is focus. I still remember reading an article in one of my books where Bill Gates Sr. and Steve Jobs were sitting and having a drink. This is a true story. And someone actually walked up to them and said, guys, just please give me some advice. What's your advice for success? And then all three of them said, focus. That's the advice, focus. You've got to focus on one thing. You can't do 50 things. If you want to be the best goalkeeper in the world, you've got to focus on being the best goalkeeper in the world. You can't be the best striker, except for the Liverpool guy who goes and scores a goal in the last minute. He maybe is a good striker as well. But it's absolute focus, focus, focus. If you can get that focus right, and to do focus, you've got to learn how to say no to the good things so you can say yes to the great things. And I'm going to repeat that again. You can say no to the good things so you can say yes to the great things. That's how you get that focus, and you really spend the time on the things that are going to move your dial. Whatever your dial is, if it's making money, move the dial to making money. If it's having a great family life, spending time with your children or whatever it might be. There's no right answer or wrong answer, but that focus on what's going to move your dial and change your life. And that's absolutely 100% within your control.
Wonderful, Clive. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I mean, just guys, I hope that you really, taking notes and really valuing the opportunity that you've got to listen to one of South Africa's greatest business leaders and someone that's really driving that entrepreneurial ecosystem, in our country at the moment and creating so many, more employers, many of whom I think, hopefully you'll look up to and strive to become like as well, and help solve, obviously the job crisis that we've got and the need for just a regeneration of our economy, etc.